The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by this podcast, as well as its hosts, are for entertainment purposes only. The viewpoints expressed, although based on very real topics, are not to be taken as fact. With that being said, enjoy the show.
Hello, world. Hello, world. Hello. Welcome to Pardon the Politics podcast.
We back. I'm back.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, world. Welcome to Pardon the Politics podcast.
We back. I'm back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really? Pardon the Politics podcast. Hello, world, and welcome to Pardon the Politics podcast, season 3, episode 28. I'm your co-host Jeezy. Along with me, I have my brother Manny. Brother, how are you doing on this fine day?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you doing, good sir?
Hey man, I'm here. It's better to be seen than not viewed, my brother. So any day above ground is a good day. So I'm thankful. And on the other side of this, we have none other than the chairman of Chaos himself, brother Chuck.
Hey.
How are you doing on this fine day?
Really, bro. I'm great, but I gotta make a brief, slight alteration.
Okay.
On today, I'm the purveyor of truth.
There we go. The purveyor of truth. None
Yes,
other
sir.
than brother Chuck himself, brother. I like to switch up.
But it's still
Hey.
the truth may bring chaos.
Hey, to some it will.
Always,
To some it may.
always.
Always,
But
brother.
But always clarity.
Talk it, brother. Talk
Yes,
it.
sir. To our listeners, welcome back to another episode of Pardon the Politics. We're glad to be back with you, trying to make sense of whatever chaos is going on in the world today.
Boy. Listen, I
Nice.
thought, and I didn't speak on this. I just started. Man, it's been a little mess here and there this week, but what we've been dealing with in the past month or so, this week was mild. It wasn't a buffalo sauce. It was mild.
Yeah.
So it's your fault. So it's your fault, Chuck.
But then somebody knocked over the
Bruh.
buffalo sauce on the wings, and we ordered mild, but they delivered some spicy wings by the
Right.
time we recorded.
That cat crawled across the kitchen counter and knocked the bottle over.
Not in my house.
Absolutely not.
Hey,
Maybe Shirley with the big rear end might turn around and knock it over. Hey, ain't no cat.
But as for me and mine,
I wish an animal would step paw
hey, bro.
across the threshold.
First of all, in the house I was raised, animals ain't allowed in. First of all, you lucky if the
No,
animal's
sir.
in the
you're
house.
lucky in the house.
You lucky it's in the house.
My
King
granddaddy
got to be
said
tied
dog.
up in the backyard.
My granddaddy said dogs supposed to be outside, no matter the breed, no matter the size, outside.
Gotta be outside, bro. And certainly, you definitely ain't about to find a cat or a dog or anything in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Not the case.
That's why
No,
at work,
sir.
if we ever have a potluck, I always know. I keep a log. Who got animals?
Who got it?
Who got, especially them cats. Because if you didn't talk about, I done made my famous dip, and your cat done rubbed the belly across it. No, I can't be a part of
Cat
that.
marked his territory on the bowl.
Licking
You
something.
got time for it.
Timmy always wanted a taste test. Yeah, I bet and Timmy can keep it too. You can keep it right at the house.
Go ahead and throw mine in the trash.
Yeah. He can have my portion. Well, to our listeners, glad to have you back for another episode. And we're gonna jump right into it. Something happened this past week. We had the NATO summit, and of course, President Donnie T had to make his presence known at the NATO summit. So it wrapped up this past week in Ankara, Turkey, with leaders representing all 32 members of the alliance. And the NATO summits are usually designed to project unity. Everybody shake hands, everybody take their little family pictures, and everybody announces that the alliance has never been stronger. But this year's summit, it felt more like a family reunion where everybody wore matching shirts with the picture, even though they had been arguing in the parking lot 5 minutes earlier before it even started. There were real.
Bro, 5 minutes.
I'll say it definitely was the family reunion. Y'all peeped the handshake between, was it the Italian, the lady from Italy, was the PM from Italy. And I don't know, I wish I had somebody to read lips. Because whatever was said in exchange, that look on her face.
Hot.
She
was not having it. And then Trump, of course, pulling his little, I'm a strong arm you, pull you in to just about everybody.
But like at this point, like you don't seen this man do this strong arm thing for at least 6 years. Why aren't y'all more prepared for that? Last thing an 80-year-old man's about to do to me is catch me off guard with one of those little arm yanks.
You're not about to put all that pressure on my elbow. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
At all.
You ain't putting all that pressure on my elbow pulling me. You know, Trump kind of got some size and some weight to him. You're not about to do all that to me. What was it when Money Mike from next Friday, ended up meeting Terry Crews?
Yeah.
Bro, he pulled him in like, feel like the Matrix. Tell me pulling everybody into the Matrix.
Now, one person he did not try to snatch up like that was the president of Turkey.
Oh yeah,
they kind of met each other like they were boys. Like they dapped up, shoulder pat. You know, hey man, glad to see you. It's been a while, and he kind of was about the same size as Trump too.
Yes.
Yep.
kind of like Obama said. Face to face, he know who to do it to.
You know how to act.
Big fact. Well, at this NATO summit, there were, I guess you could say, some real accomplishments. NATO announced major new defense spending and purchases, increased military production, and another enormous commitment to Ukraine. But President Trump also arrived criticizing European allies over Iran and threatened the United States trade relationship with Spain, and once again arguing that America should control Greenland. So the question hanging over the summit is not simply whether NATO is spending more money, it's whether NATO is genuinely becoming stronger or whether its members are becoming better at surviving their disagreements with the United States. So to begin, we'll break down some of the biggest messages that came out of this summit. And NATO members are finally starting to spend some of that serious money. So when we look at the spending, last year, NATO members agreed to work towards spending 5% of their gross domestic product on defense and broader national security by 2035. That includes 3.5% on core military needs and another 1.5% for things such as infrastructure, cybersecurity, industrial capacity, and national resilience. At the summit, though, the NATO Security General described the transformation as NATO 3.0. European members and Canada have increased their core defense investments by more than 139 billion since last year. Governments and defense companies also announced that more than 50 billion in new agreements have come during the summit, and the money is supposed to go towards missiles, air defense, drones, intelligence capabilities, and other advanced military technology. NATO also launched a 5-year 40 billion counter drone initiative and announced a 27 billion euro investment in fuel storage, pipelines, and distribution infrastructure. Now, with all that, it sounds impressive, but there is an important reality check to all of that. Only 5 of NATO's 32 members are currently projected to reach that 3.5% core defense target in 2026. So progress is happening, but the alliance is still a long way from every country meeting the promises that were made. So, Manny, I'm going to ask you this. Is this evidence that Trump's pressure on NATO worked and forced European countries to finally pay their fair share? Or are these countries spending more because Russia and Americans' own unpredictability have shown them that they need to become less dependent on the United States?
Like a lot of my answers here, the answer is yes. Yes. All of the above. I mean, a lot of pressure put on by Trump for other countries to spend. And I think correctly so, because if you looked at the numbers before all this, the U.S. was funding NATO. We were. Like, so I think A, you have that pressure from Trump, but I think B, you have the U.S. saying, okay, well, we're not going to be as active in Ukraine. And I think a lot of the European leaders were just like, oh, yeah, we're going to have to start protecting ourselves. And that means making investments into NATO. It means increasing what we put up for our own defense. So, yeah, I think this was Trump pressure, but I think they also just saw the reality of the world around them was no longer what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. And let me also just say, for the record, it feels really weird to say that. Not early 2000. Anyways,
listen,
I was like,
to say 2010 is throwback. It puts
Wow.
me in a bad mental space. So I can, man, yeah.
So I think they had to. I think the state and the ambition of Russia is as high as it's been since the fall of the USSR. You know, you have everything playing out with the U.S. in the Middle East and that whole thing, where having membership in the alliance provided that consistent security, and that's not there anymore. So I think it's good to see several of these countries starting to move towards it. Is it a reality that by 2035 that everyone's at 5%? Yeah, probably not. But I think if you get the big players out there, you'll see it. And then also you have to think about how some of this is advantageous for the United States. You know, when they talk about spending that 3.5% of their GDP on weapons, there's one thing that we may not manufacture a lot in the United States, but it's one thing we do.
Oh, you better believe.
we keep them weapons moving. So it's advantageous for the United States for everybody to spend more, because that's where you're getting your planes from. That's where you're getting your guns. That's where you're getting your ammunition from. So like this is a double win for the U.S. Not only are you getting your allies chipping in more on the defense, making more resources and infrastructure ready just in case you have to do something, you're also bolstering your economy.
Yeah. I agree 1,000% with your assessment. The only issue that I have, and it's not with what you said, it's how Trump went about this. As we stated previously, we agreed that they needed to carry more of the weight of defense with NATO. This is an alliance. This is not a which I don't even know what to call it. Where
friendship?
Well, not even friendship, just a gang. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Where the U.S. is the big boss, and you know we have our little henchmen with the other countries. No, this is an alliance. We all are working together for a common cause. Y'all need to carry your weight in the alliance. Now, granted, there's not equality in size. There's not equality in strength. So realistically, everybody should not be expected to provide the same level of support. But if you're providing the support consummate to who you are and your size, voila, magic.
Yeah,
we support that. Now, Trump went about it in a very nasty way, to the point where a lot of people felt the NATO was threatened as far as still being in existence.
Was threatened?
Well, I'm saying from the beginning, how we got to this point.
Yep.
There's still some question of it, but to get to this point and how he went and moved about it was very nasty, and it strained our relationship with our allies. And you see that as we talked in the header, in the greetings, when they all come together. We've seen it in many different instances in how they greet and approach Trump. We can have diplomacy and we can have the conversation of we need you to do more without isolation. And I think that's been my problem with the approach of this. The adage says a broken clock can be right twice a day. He's right. Yes, y'all need to do more. But he's wrong in how he approached it. But I'm glad to see, unfortunately, that not unfortunately, I'm glad to see that there's a significant amount of countries that have committed to increasing the defense spending and understanding the high nature and to get to that point. I just hate that they feel like they got to do it because the U.S. with this administration may turn on us or may leave us isolated. That's not friendship. That's not an alliance, I'll say.
It's almost low-key blackmail to a degree.
Yeah.
Holding them all at bay.
I like coercion. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like we'll see.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you go.
Well, I think regardless of who deserves credit, when you look at this, NATO is clearly trying to become more capable and at least more sufficient. But buying weapons from NATO members is only one part of the equation. The other immediate question I think that comes to mind is how much of that military power the alliance is willing to place behind Ukraine. And a
non-member country.
a non-member. But I think one thing out of this that was produced is one of NATO's largest commitments to Ukraine since the war has came out of this. When NATO happens and the summit happens, well, Vladimir be working overtime. His team calendar be full. He got a meeting.
You gonna
every
be
30
here
minutes.
from 8 to 8:15, from 8:15 to 8:20. You got 5 minutes to get across the complex. You gotta be there. Bro, you on the clock.
I salute, regardless of what the effort he's putting in for his country. I gotta salute the energy and the determination, because he's like, okay, everybody gonna be there at one time. Okay, yeah, I'm pulling up. And I got a meeting with you. I've talked to you twice already today. Like, just make sure that we good. But, like you said, man, Ukraine is not a NATO member, but it remains one of the central subjects of the summit. NATO members pledged 70 billion euros, roughly $80 billion in military equipment, assistance, and training for Ukraine during 2026. Now, members also committed themselves individually to trying to sustain at least that same level of support in 2027, which I got to think that Vladimir is like, hey, look, I'll worry about 2027 when they get here. If you can give me that in 2026, I'll take what I can get.
He said tomorrow got its own problems.
Hey, look,
I'm gonna worry about today.
But another significant development involved the Patriot missile system. Trump said that the United States would allow Ukraine to produce Patriot systems domestically. Ukraine has repeatedly requested more air defense capabilities as Russia continues striking Ukrainian cities and critical infrastructure. Now, giving Ukraine permission to produce Patriots does not mean those systems will start rolling out of Ukrainian factories tomorrow. Ukraine will still need manufacturing facilities, components, trained workers, and secure supply chains. But over time, domestic production could reduce Ukraine's dependence on waiting for the United States and European countries to release limited supplies. Now, President Zelensky, which I don't know if y'all caught the clip. Did y'all hear when Trump was sitting with him and he called him President Putin? Mm-hmm. Along with his other mishaps?
Bro.
I was about to say, that's a long list. Just add that to the list of the other slips.
At this point, I'm surprised Polymaker doesn't have like a constant bet that pops up every big summit. How many gaffes?
That's he gonna
have? Well, one of them definitely wouldn't have been on the bingo card is the Islamic Republic of Japan. That was a wild one. That was that was one that if you got that one on your bingo card.
I don't think anybody.
Hey, y'all not out here paying attention to the real threats. Okay, y'all focused on Russia and Venezuela, but that is a Islamic Republic of Japan.
Somebody
sneak up on you.
Somebody with their tinfoil hat was sitting there watching TV, and when he said that little Leonardo DiCaprio meme, when he just sat up and pointed at the screen.
I told y'all.
I've been telling y'all. But President Zelensky also announced new bilateral drone agreements with several countries while attending the summit. So the largest shift is that European allies and Canada now finance most of the security assistance being provided to Ukraine. That suggests that Europe is gradually carrying more of the responsibility instead of expecting Washington to lead every stage of the effort. So, Chuck, I'll ask you this. Does this 70 billion euro commitment equaling the total of $80 billion demonstrate that NATO finally has a sustainable strategy for supporting Ukraine, or is the alliance still spending enormous amounts of money without clearly explaining what victory or an acceptable ending to the war actually looks like? I'm going to give that to you, Manny.
Man, I think it's interesting. I mean, I think it's one of those situations where, we just got an updated point on McConnell, so we'll circle back to that. Okay. So in regards to that, I think it makes sense, with all of these countries having stockpiles of weapons and whatnot, to be able to have them in an area where you can very quickly get them over to Ukraine if necessary makes 1,000% sense. I think they're, again, understanding the cost of war, but I think to the second part of your question, that is concerning. I don't think anyone knows what winning this war looks like. I think they're trying to work through that right now as we stand, because is a win Russia stopping? Is a win, you giving up land? Is a win a North Korea, South Korea situation? Is there an actual peace treaty? I don't think they've gotten to that point.
Yeah.
To even have that discussion on what victory looks like. And until you actually know where you want to go, any road you take is going to get you there. So are we just throwing money kind of like off a cliff out to a degree? Yes. Now, can we afford to sit around and do nothing? We can't. Too many. You see the strikes that are coming from Russia. You see that they're larger. You see Ukraine striking back. You also see Ukraine's diligence and willing to continue to fight. One of the things that I think was interesting around this was, again, the U.S. saying, hey, Ukraine, you can use the Patriot missile systems. And that tells me two things. The biggest is that the U.S. is now willing to let our allies build this, and essentially a non-ally, because, again, Ukraine's not an ally of ours. We have that piece, but it also tells me the U.S. now knows how to stop the Patriot missile system, because I find it really hard to believe that we would let another country start building these systems without us knowing definitively how to stop them.
Yeah, we don't have the kill switch. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we I think down, A, B, A, B, A, B.
I think that the one thing, and then Chuck, I'll let you rebuttal. I think the thing for me that when it comes to the spending, which great for Ukraine, but to me it gives me the vibe of a very bad Rent-A-Center contract.
Stop, not
Jeez.
center.
There's a whole lot of money been thrown in this account, but we really don't have a true end to when am I going to be done with this? How much more? How many times am I going to keep paying for this sectional that I done already paid 6 times over?
This was a $1,000 couch.
And right now I paid
$14,800.
I done paid $5,000 into this account. You still keep telling me I owe. Like, I think that's the big thing. I'm sure for Zelensky, this means more than enough to him that he actually has the support and the financial backing that he needs. But no one can clearly define what does the end look like. Or, I mean, we had somebody, and we'll talk about it later, that might have knew what the end was going to look like, and that person's no longer here. So
they ain't see the end coming. Sorry.
So to me, that's just the funding is fine, but what does the true end of this war look like? Because depending on what that looks like, that financing may run out. Because as we already stated, they agreed to 2026. You're gonna have to circle back around when 2027 comes. So that's my thought.
So I like that they are finally stepping up to provide a sound and I guess a sound funding for Ukraine. And I know Ukraine is not a NATO country, but if you look at a map, this is really about Ukraine not becoming NATO for Putin and wanting that land.
Yep.
Because it's sandwiched by NATO countries.
Yeah.
Like, in fact,
the line.
This is the house on the cul-de-sac that wants to be, Manny can speak to this better than I can, wants to participate in the Christmas light competition, but because they just moved in, nobody wants to let them into the competition because we don't know you, we don't trust you. But I agree 1,000%. When is it going to end? And I blame the United States because we wanted to play pity pat. We wanted to, here, you can have a few things here and there, but we really don't want to push the issue on Russia.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, we get to an end when somebody's
tired.
has suffered. Like a greater suffering. Like they both have suffered. Ukraine has really pulled I don't want to say fantastic, a strong comeback in this jousting, I would say. And you know, it caused Russia to step back and be like, oh, hold on. You know, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't expecting this. But either you're going to take somebody out and be done with it, or I actually, God, dog, I'm about to get this food credit again. Trump said, Putin, it's on you. Let's put an end to it. And Putin only has one end in mind. He has one end in mind.
Russia or bust.
Yep.
Basically. And so in that regard, now it's on, if NATO, if you're going to support them, Ukraine is spending, you have to make a decision. Are we going to support them to go all the way?
Right.
And do what needs to be done to end this? Or we're going to keep playing pity pat?
Because you know what's going to piss me off is we done funded them all the way through the fourth quarter and they're up 21-3 or 28-3.
28-3.
And then out of nowhere, Putin comes
back.
And you done wasted all this money and U.S. resources for y'all to lose.
Yeah.
But and I think the other part of this is I think the U.S. has always treated this war with Russia, with Ukraine and Russia, as a circumstance of Russia could turn it on at any point. So we're not going to try to go through much to stop them because we're not really trying to fight them at that level. Mm-hmm. But now, because we've always treated like it that, it's created this like void of Russia is not moving as if it is concerned about the U.S. getting more involved.
That's a fact.
I think if Russia was more concerned about the U.S. getting involved, then we would probably be at a different place in this war.
I hadn't even thought about it like that, but you're 1,000% correct. You are 1,000% correct.
If I know your big brother ain't coming and it's still going to be me and you, and we are technically, even though this battle's gone on longer than we thought, mismatched, then I'm gonna just keep playing around with you.
Yep.
And let the wartime economy. I mean, Russia hasn't gone under at this standpoint. The situation with Iran has made life a little bit easier on Russia now that Russia can start moving around its oil. So
I was saying, ain't no little bit easier. That was, in fact, Trump, you actually was breathing life into Russia.
Yeah.
You started this mess with Iran, and other people, the reserves start going, oh, guess what, Russia? I have
more sanctions.
No more sanctions. Russia, like, I got oil. Y'all want some?
Came around like the Beverly Hillbillies talking about black gold, that Texas tea.
Texas tea.
Oh, that is.
Right. Well, I think while NATO leaders were discussing unity against Russia, Trump was openly criticizing several allies, which should come to no surprise to anybody. You can't lead a scene without criticizing somebody.
not Donald Trump.
Hey, it ain't Trump if he throw a little trash and a little
criticize.
So of course, he had to before he got out of the summit, had to criticize several allies for refusing to join the United States and Israel in its war against Iran. So the conflict with Iran followed Trump into the summit. The United States had launched new strikes against Iran after accusing Tehran of attacking commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz, or the Hormuz Strait, as Trump calls it. Trump then declared that Washington's memorandum of understanding with Iran was effectively over.
It's over.
Later, hold on. But wait, there's more. However, he said he did not expect the full war to restart and insisted that the United States was not seeking another long-term conflict. Okay.
But we never be seeking.
Iran,
we never be seeking long-term conflicts, but
Iran
we find them.
What you want?
Iran said, hey, "We done heard this story before. We gave you a chance. Now we done with you."
And in the words of the wise, fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Facts.
Well, so NATO's official declaration said Iran must never acquire a nuclear weapon and called for freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. But the alliance stopped short of requiring every NATO country to participate in America's military operations. And that became a major point of contention. Trump singled out Spain after his government refused to authorize the use of Spanish bases for operations against Iran. He called Spain a bad NATO partner. And I just want to stop here. With Trump, vocabulary has got to be very limited.
Elementary. Pre-K. It's pre-K.
When he criticized somebody, I swear on everything I love, it sounds like hearing my 6-year-old and another kid in her class bicker back and forth and get upset with each other. Like, it is very elementary.
He called me a booger face baloney head.
Called me a duty head. Bro, but he called Spain a bad NATO partner and threatened to cut off trade with the country. And even in that, he was like, he's talking about this, I mean, in real time. And he looks over, he's like, cut it right now. Just cut it right. Like, brother, first of all, you want to press a button.
That's not how this works. It's live. It's live, sir.
Like, he want to look so tough and bad. Like, bro, this is not how this works. So just stop.
You don't watch too many episodes of Billions and Succession.
I'm telling you that apprentice got his mind messed up, bro. He feel like he can just say it and it happens. But he also criticized not only Spain, but the United Kingdom. Britain had allowed the United States to use some British facilities, but refused to join the larger war effort. Trump's argument was essentially that these countries enjoyed the protection of an American-led alliance, but were unwilling to support the United States when Washington wanted military assistance. Now, the funny thing about this is that in past months, Trump has argued about them not giving support, but in the same breath will literally say that we don't need it. So it's funny that he bickers about them not being involved, but says that he does not need them. If you don't need me, then what you require my assistance for? But
I'm really just going to be another I'm really just going to be in the way, so I'm just not going to come.
So he wants to create I know what this is. He watched Bad by Michael Jackson. And he seen how all those folks when Michael came out, in the little, what was it, like a garage or wherever they was at. Yeah, and everybody kind of he want that moment. He want to hit that line where he say, "Your bud is mine." That's what Trump want to do, bro. But the opposing argument is that NATO membership does not require every country to automatically participate in every war involving another NATO member, especially when the conflict does not fall directly under Article 5. So, Manny, were Spain and the United Kingdom failing America as NATO allies by refusing to fully support the Iran operation, or was Trump treating the alliance between sovereign nations like a loyalty test where disagreement is considered betrayal?
Donnie gonna do what Donnie want to do at the end of the day. So if you look at Spain, on top of all this, also remember that Spain is one of the only NATO countries that said, "Oh, we're not getting to that 5% target." So it's already beef in the streets because of that.
Yep.
So there was always going to be issues. But I think it's right. I mean, technically, if you go by letter of the law, like the U.S. has never invoked Section 4, let alone Section 5 of NATO to call for reserves. So until that, no one has failed to give the call to the U.S. technically. Now, in terms of, hey, providing help, well, maybe you wouldn't need help if we didn't start this stupidity in the first place.
Mind your business.
Right. Like,
why you go over there messing with them people in the first place?
Look, I will clean up a mistake, but I'm not going to clean up stupidity.
Bruh.
So and then we just like kicking the UK. So like anytime we find an opportunity to say something about the UK, we just gonna say it. So like, yeah, the UK should just be used to it at this point. Like, hey, we gonna have something to say about y'all, just because. So yeah, is it a litmus test? Yeah, will it actually be a feasible and workable litmus test? I guess we'll find out here over the next couple months. But
we shall see.
We shall see.
It's crazy to think that you want people to jump in on your fight that you started. That nobody was bothering you. You started this, and you started this with somebody else who is not a NATO country, who, again, the aggressor.
You went and got your friend that wasn't part of this friend group.
That's not. Yeah, you want your outside? Want me to fight for your outside friend, and I don't even fool with?
Right.
I don't fool with them.
Yeah.
Nah. Trump don't know how the streets work, bro.
He don't.
It's not like you. It's not like you linked up with Canada and started to run up on something.
Exactly.
Nah, we don't fool with them like that.
Let's go random. Estonia had a beef with somebody, and we linked up with Estonia, and we said we're gonna get this popping. Well, Estonia is NATO. Maybe I'll come over here and help. I'll send my boys some missiles. I'll send them a couple planes. I may not, jump into the fight directly, but I got my boy. That's Israel. It ain't too many people who ride with them in the first place.
Right. Like, we get that's your boy.
Yeah.
But it ain't my boy.
But that's your boy.
Yeah.
that ain't my boy.
I ain't got nothing to do with him.
Look, man,
You already know why I stand with him.
My name is Bennett, man.
I ain't got nothing to do with him or that.
Yep.
The UK came out and said, hey, look, the U.S., I'm going to let you use some of my bases just off the strength of our relationship.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's
don't get comfortable either. Don't ask for nothing else. Yeah, I'm already doing more than I should.
Right.
Look, you can come over to my house, but you can't eat here.
Yeah,
Bring your own food.
Yeah. You can't spend the night.
You definitely can't spend the night. Definitely. Your mama got to pick you up by 10 o'clock.
You got to go. My mama said you can't stay.
At 9:45, you stretching like, so, y'all about to get into the rest of the night.
Your mama on the way.
Man,
I got to go to bed. I got to go to church in the morning.
It's Friday.
You're not going to church with us, are you?
Yep. That's how you get them out, man. You packing the church clothes. Man, you might as well go home, man. Well, I think Trump's criticism of Spain and Britain was not even the summit's strongest disagreement. Because while NATO was reaffirming its commitment to defend the territory of every member, the president of the most powerful country was once again talking about taking control of territory belonging to another member. So Trump revived his argument that the United States should control Greenland. And when I heard this, it made me think of that little video clip of that one lady saying that she just couldn't sleep at night because she was worried about waking up one morning and Trump look over the horizon to see Trump coming over on a ship.
On the ship.
The Ina, the Pina, and Santa Maria.
Right. Right. But Greenland is a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, and Denmark is a NATO member. Trump argued that Greenland is strategically essential to the United States, but not particularly important to Denmark. Now, Denmark's prime minister responded that Greenland is not for sale and said Denmark is prepared to defend every inch of NATO territory, including its own. Trump's underlining security concern is not completely imaginary. Greenland occupies a strategically important position between North America, Europe, and the Arctic. It matters for missile detection, military surveillance, shipping routes, and growing competition with Russia and China in the region. Now, the Secretary General of NATO acknowledged that Trump has a legitimate point about Russia and China attempting to expand its influence in the Arctic. But there is an enormous difference between saying the U.S. needs stronger military cooperation and access to Greenland and arguing that the United States should possess Greenland. Now, NATO's entire defense of Ukraine is built around sovereignty, territorial integrity, and principle that powerful countries cannot simply pressure smaller countries into surrendering their territory. That principle can not only apply when Russia violates it. So, Chuck, I'll ask you this. Is Trump raising a legitimate national security concern in an unnecessarily reckless way, or ridiculous too? Or does repeatedly...
Both apply.
Yeah, they both go to hand in hand. Or does repeatedly suggesting that America should control Greenland fundamentally undermines NATO's claim that sovereignty and national borders must be respected?
Can two things be right at the same time?
Yes, good brother. Yes, they can.
I believe so.
Okay. All right. And it's funny that he brought this up again. It reminds me of that person that, like you said, the family reunion, who was just waiting to get everybody in front of at the table so you can bring up your gripe again.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
That Johnny did 6, 8, and 10 months ago.
They can't let it go.
Can't let it go. Yes, Greenland is very strategic in the security of the U.S., Canada,
Mm-hmm.
Name one. Yes, by all means. But you don't have to possess it like it's some little prize toy. Like we actually did a great drill down on this a while back on the pod. We have a military presence. If we need to expand that presence, there's an agreement in place already that we can expand that presence. Respect these people's territory, respect these people's land. Like it's insane that he wants to just go and this. It's not even a midlife crisis. This is insecurity. This is everything they say about a man that lacks in many capacities, because you want to go and conquer Greenland, you want to go and conquer Cuba, but you allow Benjamin Netanyahu to punk you.
But
you allow.
But the reason that is because Big Netty got them tapes.
Well, true. However, they ain't did that to you yet, and everybody know what's going on with you.
Also true.
So
also true.
But again, to the point I made earlier about how he's going about dealing and handling NATO, he's not treating them as this is an alliance. He's treating them as if he's the boss, and these other 31 countries are his flunkies, and y'all have to do what I say do and move how I say move because I'm Big Bad Donnie. And it's nasty work, man.
Well, to that point, Chuck, like I think you're spot on. He's treating this like a boardroom, of which he's the chairman of the board.
Yes.
And he's approached this whole Greenland thing as if he's trying to do a hostile takeover.
Takeover and business acquisition.
What is the price? Cool, we're going to pay that price. Or like, here, we're going to pay this price. And I think that's bound to happen with a political official whose background is in business.
Oh, he's not a career politician.
Yeah.
Everything that they loved about him is everything that's wrong about him in many aspects. Because you've said it 1,000 times over. It needs to be printed on. I ain't even gonna say that. We be giving out too much good game. It should be on the billboard. You cannot run the country like a business. Your presidency is not a boardroom. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. You can, as we're currently seeing. You shouldn't, but you can.
And you're running it like a business that has gone bankrupt. Oh, hold on. That sounds familiar. I'm just saying. It's nasty work how he's dealing with it with Greenland and the fact that because it's been quiet about Greenland for a while now.
But that's because the block got hot.
But we know he's the master of diversion. And hey, look at this hand. Nope, look at this hand. Nope, not over here. And Greenland was that for him for a while. Everything else happened. So, but to my point, now that we're all at the table together, let me get back to that. Greenland, we need that. Denmark, we know you in here, so I'm gonna make sure I say it in front of you just to make you feel uncomfortable and make you feel pressured to be like, oh, well, maybe. No, the Kingdom of Denmark standing on business. Mm-hmm. And folks in Greenland, leave them alone, and they'll defend NATO.
Right.
But you don't need to be in charge of it.
Now, the interesting piece that I would be shocked if at some point before the end of the year we don't get here, if Greenland just throws out or Denmark throws out some ridiculous number. $37 trillion. Okay.
I'm moving to Greenland.
That day. That day.
I'm moving. Because you know that idiot goes, we'll buy it. We gotta have it. We'll buy it. Well, I hope he's the great deal maker, and all he's gonna say is like, I got what I wanted.
Well, judging by the way he paid his contractors and all that,
listen,
don't cash that check. Don't cash that check about 2036.
Yeah, I forgot.
That shit
Trump,
might bounce.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you say that, the way he paid them folks at Trump University,
Bruh. That check or how them folks in he don't ever see the obligation through. Trust me.
definitely not.
Not
That's
at
those
all.
people with them gold sneakers and them cell phones.
Man, I'm glad you brought those cell phones up. I watched a YouTube video the other day. As I said before, I'm a self-proclaimed geek and self-proclaimed tech geek. And there was a guy who did a breakdown of the phone, like the internals.
Boy, them struggle phones.
Listen,
Bruh. So they're worse than the Obama phone.
Yeah, because the Obama phone is not one particular phone. It's a lower tier
Android.
phone that you can use to have phone service. You didn't pay $500-$600 for it.
Yeah.
They paid $600 because it was $599. You had to have $100 deposit. But the phone is sold by a carrier in the US that it's I don't even want to give it mid tier, to be honest with you.
It's
like
that bad.
the innards of it. First off, it's running Android 14, if I'm not mistaken.
It's an old.
Just to give you an idea, Android is currently on 16, about to go to Android 17. It's running Android 14. It does have a bigger battery because they took something out that modern, but current phones have. So it does have a bigger battery. The camera module was ridiculous. It's just. But most importantly, they went from made in the USA to proudly inspired by America for Asian phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, they said it was an HTC. Like, the guy, to the point, he took and swapped the motherboard from an HTC phone, and the Trump phone worked seamless. Fit perfect.
Yep.
It's diabolical, bro.
Y'all better be careful with them Trump phones. Don't let Israel find out.
Boy,
might blow your hip off.
They'll blow your ear off like Trump.
Don't worry, it'll grow back.
Fine.
Evander Holyfield still trying to get that.
Still trying to get that notch of ear out.
Well,
Evander don't even know where he at. But anyway.
God bless
his brain.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
Well, I will say this: when we talk about what happened at the NATO summit, just to close this out, I'll ask you this, and Manny, I'll go to you first on this. Do you really think that NATO and this alliance genuinely left stronger than what they were before, or was it simply just trying to, in my opinion, survive Trump? Which I think we kind of had a similar take on the previous summit that happened that we talked in the past episode.
I mean, I don't think we left weaker. We definitely didn't get out of there stronger. Like,
so the Hey Arnold approach. We down, but we not up.
We down, but we not up. And honestly, I think that is the status quo for most Trump situations. Like,
yeah,
did this not go completely horrible? No, it didn't. Okay, we're good. We got to the other side. But I think there's still obviously issues that need to be worked through. Yeah.
Brother Chuck, your thought?
I agree. I think there was some positives. I think that, as we stated, them increasing their defense spending is a move in the right direction. But who's steering the ship, and what direction are we going? So there was no conclusion to anything. There was a lot of open-ended things. We'll table this to the next meeting type situations. And where does that leave us? kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. And certainly, some of those promises that were made to Ukraine and Zelensky, how will those affect the war that is going on in between Russia and Ukraine? Some of the situations like the Patriot missile system and what that looks like for Ukraine. When does that start taking process? What does the first steps in that even look like for them, knowing that they need the infrastructure and the particular supply chain to even make that happen? And how can it happen in the climate that they're currently in? A lot of those things sound good, but it's very difficult to do those things in the midst of chaos. And you can promise me a whole lot of things, but once the block is hot, man, it gets tough to try to implement and put a lot of these systems in place to help when everything's just crazy right now. Everything is hot right now. So hopefully there will be some positive come out of it. But I agree with you, man. The status quo seems to just, hey, can we get out of here without Trump messing up the scene and staining the seats? If we can get out, if we can get out of there,
staining the seats.
If we can get out of these situations, bro, and he can get back home, and we leave with as less chaos. We leave with the same amount of chaos that we came here with. I think we're fine.
Right.
I think we're fine. So, well, certainly, that was the NATO summit. For our listeners, I don't know if y'all realize, but I know we didn't talk about it, but we talked about it in pre-pod. I'm interested to our listeners, especially those that are very extreme Trump supporters. How do you feel about Trump taking both of his jets over to this summit? We had the Air Force One, the OG Air Force One. And then we had our Qatar. We got to get a name for does the Qatar one have a different name? What is that, Air Force 2? What does he call that? Is it
I feel like we should call that Q jet.
The Q jet?
The Q jet.
The Q jet. He took the Q jet, but then he had to come back on the OG, and all of that fuel, man. All of that on taxpayers' dollars is a little extreme for an administration that we would hope would not be having so much waste. And I thought they were supposed to be cutting waste.
Well, that's because Doge doesn't exist anymore. So,
man, where's Elon when you need him, bro?
Yeah, we lost Doge, so that's where we are now.
And to our listeners, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it, especially with everything that's going on, and how does that feel? Do you think that it's unnecessary or necessary? Let us know and hit us up on our social media of your thoughts. So, brothers, all hearts and minds clear on the NATO summit?
Oh yeah,
yes.
All right, let's come back to the States. Let's take it back to the States. We're going to bring the next segment of our podcast to the great state of Maine. Shout out to any listeners that we have in the state of Maine. We spoke on this previously of a gentleman who has been talked about and has been in the pickle of the week more consistently than I think anyone we've ever had in the podcast history thus far. And that is Graham Platner. And Jesus, Graham.
Get down. Go get somewhere and sit down, man.
Graham is almost the equivalent of that person that comes to church and it's like they come to the altar needing prayer for the same situation at least Sunday. Twice a quarter. You dealing with that again?
Listen. I know
Lord ain't delivered you yet.
But I used to hate seeing certain people go up to the altar for altar call.
Hey, you already know.
I'm here standing before y'all again, asking for some.
Hey,
listen,
when I was growing up in church, there was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Some things you can't put on God or the devil. You got to put it on yourself.
Hey, bro. Listen, when I was growing up, there was this couple, bro. I ain't gonna give no names, but I swear at least once or twice, bro, they come to the altar, bro. Husband done cheated, bro. I said, now look, as a kid, I'm sitting here like 14, 15. In my mind, I'm sitting here like, look, if he having that much struggle, I think it's somewhere in the Bible it said, "Lord, to lead to your ways, bro. You should just let him go ahead and get back in the street, bro. Something because if you got to do this twice a year, I think I don't think he won't do right. I think
right.
maybe that he's
got to
struggling.
be some different options here.
Either you're going to leave or accept it.
Hey,
One
at
or
this
the
point,
other.
I'm tired of y'all exposing this to me. I'm too young for this.
I know. The Bible says, "Confess amongst your brothers, so that we can get you right." But gosh darn it, you done confessed a lot, and you still ain't got right.
He still.
You might need to just switch where you at and just go talk to that man in that box and stop bringing it to us. He don't tell the little priest don't tell nobody. Just go talk to that box,
and we won't know.
Stop taking up service because I'm trying to go home. But that's how I feel when it comes to Graham. Bro, you can't do this Monday through Saturday. You had to wait to Sunday.
Take this to the office.
Your wife found out on Tuesday. You waited. You had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You waited to Sunday, bro. Come on. That's how I feel when I look at Graham Platner, bro. Graham Platner just got so much mess. I don't know if I've ever seen a candidate with so much mess going on.
Yes, yeah.
It's like well, yeah, you probably
he's the president.
Yeah, you're right. But Graham, Trump is Trump. Graham appeared to be just an ordinary person, no politician, just an outsider, regular day oyster farmer. And apparently oysters weren't the only thing that he was shucking.
Hold on, brother. Outsider, that was a businessman, that was not a career politician.
But he had that coin on him, though. He had that coin. That coin make a little difference. That's what Trump say. Trump said when you got money, this is typical.
We already know. We've seen it. Money make them act different. We've seen it in action.
Bruh. see, Graham may come from all that. Graham just out there shucking oysters. And
the great philosopher Juicy J said, bands will make them dance.
Yes, sir. Well, apparently the bands that Graham Platner had didn't make him dance. It didn't make him dance good enough because he found himself yet again in another scandal. And because of this, brother Graham, well, I can't even call you brother because you got too much stuff on you.
Right.
You Mr. Graham,
or friend. Brother nor friend.
As Black Dynamite would tell us, you are not a brother nor a friend. But he had to withdraw, man. He had to step down after calls from various people, Bernie Sanders, Matt Donnie, a number of people. I don't know if y'all caught Trump's kind of tone, but when they asked Trump about it, Trump said,
"Oh boy,
sometimes women."
Listen, Trump saw a lot of himself in Graham because he was like,
he's like,
you know what? He was like terrible. Just the things that's been said. If he was a Republican,
bro.
But you're not sure. Some things is not always what they see. He threw that cape out there for a quick.
When he threw that cape, I said, bro, Trump is a fool. He said, hey, man, some of these women, they say things, man. And, I said, yeah, bro. All that stuff they say about you is true because there's one thing that you can't do. I can't convict the man for the same sins that I've done.
Yeah,
I've done.
Can't do it.
Can't throw stones while you're living in a glass house.
No, sir. You cannot. But of course, he stepped down. So for those of you that don't know, just I want to give just a brief look at Platner's political rise and fall. He entered the race as a veteran, oyster farmer, and a political outsider. His working class message connected so much with progressive voters, and people were frustrated with the Democratic establishment. One thing that was very amazing that he did is that he won more than 70% of the Democratic primary vote. But his quick rise was followed by questions about his past, his judgment, and whether he had been properly vetted. After a former girlfriend accused him of sexual assault, an allegation that he has denied, his support collapsed and he withdrew from the race. The important part is that party leaders did not hand Platner the nomination. The voters chose him overwhelmingly. So, Manny, I'll ask you this. Does Platner's collapse show the risk of voters becoming too excited about political outsiders, or is the real failure that Democrats did not properly vet him before the primary?
Yes. Yes, all around. Like, yeah. So I've not seen Dem on Dem violence like this since Dem leadership said Bernie Sanders is not going to be our nominee in 2016. Like, so do people fall in love with personalities politically? Yes. Now, it is also about the temperament of the body that follows you that also weighs in here. Because if, again, to what you said with Platner and the Trump comparisons, like, Trump's people rode with him. So they're like, we're going to look past all these things. That does not tend to be Democratic voters, especially not Dem voters in the 2020s. But also a lot of this is on Graham. Like, you knew you did all that greasy stuff and you said, I'm still going to run. What? Brother man, no. Brother man, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that. But then also for both sides. And I feel like this happens every election cycle. You know, actually last cycle, Mark Robinson. People get caught by opposition research every cycle.
Here we Mark with
They
the
make him
string.
throw a shot every time.
Every chance he get.
I mean, I'm just saying. If people vetted themselves,
am I wrong?
If I'm lying, I'm lying. And as y'all can see, I'm right here on the ground. So yeah, like some of this is on Dems for not doing the research. But what this also told me is either Platner didn't have enough support that the Dems were going to stick with him. Because what I think I threw in the group chat at like super early in the morning that, hey, there was some whispers going on around him and whatever it is pretty bad. And we knew by business hours that afternoon that he was on his way out.
Yeah.
So the fact that it happened so quickly lets me also know, at least I feel as though this is not something you can survive politically. But also so bold to run with knowing that.
I do agree that it was them on them violence. I do agree. I disagree that what was the point you made? You were saying that crap. I don't even remember the point now. But I'll save my point and it'll probably come back to me. He was a problem from the beginning.
Been a problem.
And they knew this.
Yep.
But the excitement of the people, they were drinking the Kool-Aid. The Democratic leadership was drinking the Kool-Aid and coming off of the resounding victory of Mondami. This is the gift and the curse.
Yep.
The gift and the curse. Because I don't know if you all saw it, but there was a video of two individuals who had done work with Bernie Sanders that was in charge of vetting Graham. And in this video, how they responded to the questioning of his background and their vetting process, there were things that they found. And there, some of those things, it was like, oh, it'll just go away in the wash. So when you have a girlfriend or an ex-partner, or whatever you want to call her, who is a Republican and has ties to MAGA and different things, we can kind of put that off as jealousy and just political rhetoric trying to get back at you. My issue in the early stages was that tattoo.
The tattoo should have been
the lie
dead giveaway.
The lie that just him to say, "Oh, we didn't. It was just a tattoo. we just got it. We didn't know what it meant. You're a liar. You're a big, bold-faced liar because the reason in the group of individuals who got that tattoo, it wasn't just you. It was a group of y'all who got this tattoo.
Yep.
Everybody's just not blindly as a group getting tattoos and don't know what it means. So for me, I was off of him regardless of his messaging early. When he popped on the scene and my good brother Jeezy made him the pickle of the day or the week, he was in the brine, and that tattoo came up. Oh no, sir. And then when you dropped it in the group chat, Manny, and you were like, "Yeah, this has to be real nasty." And then the news broke of potential sexual assault. Sir,
play him off.
This is not definitely play him off, and because this was not the first incident of misconduct.
Yep.
And then for your wife to find inappropriate text messages, give it to them, and they knew about it. Yeah. And then kind of just dismissed it. This was drunken stupidity by the Democratic Party. And he should have never even made it to this point. And then I saw, listened to or saw a, I can't remember. I want to give proper accreditation to who it was, and I can't remember. But they were interviewing Maine constituents, asking them about, I want to say it may have been New York Times, about Graham and the support of him after the first round of things started coming out. You had those individuals. Oh, I'm gonna support him regardless. You know, nobody's perfect. I don't want a squeaky clean politician because that's a person I don't believe. Everybody has a past. Yes, everybody has a past. Everybody has things that they've done that they've grown and learned from. Some of these transgressions was just a couple years ago. And he's a full-grown man.
Full-on adult.
Mm-hmm. Like it's one thing for you to have done something in your college years, just after college, and in your early 20s, and now you're 35, 40, 45. That's a different dynamic in life. That's a different stage in life. There's a different process where you can grow, learn, and mature from. You made mistakes. All three of us have done things in those years that we wouldn't dare do now and understand and learn from it.
Yep.
But things that you just did a couple years ago at your big age, that's who you are.
Yeah. But Chuck, even on that standpoint, like when the first group of claims came out, like they went and they backed him real hard.
Hard.
At the rebound from that. I'm just like, when those first ones came, none of y'all said to yourselves, you know what? Let's go dig. Let's just make sure nothing else is there.
Yeah.
But we said it time by time before, and we're going to continue to say it. Never doubt the Democrats' ability to mess this up.
To mess it up.
They about to mess it up. And now it's all about, well, how are you going to mess it up?
Well, I think that when you speak about how they're going to mess it up, certainly depending on who how you divide the blame, Democrats can't redo what happened in June. But now they have to replace him. And this could get even worse because the process gives voters much less control. And I think that when you really break down how this happens and what's next, because he's out, he's done, and he's done completely. Like I think he even went as far as to say, like, does he have any say so on who is replacing? Bruh, no, you put us in this situation.
Even if you had some, even if you had
how
some
you create this mess and say, well, can I at least be a part? No. that Bugs Bunny meme. No,
you've contributed enough, sir.
You've done enough, so go sit down. But by Maine law allows the Democratic Party to replace the nominee who withdraws before the deadline. There will not be another statewide primary. Instead, Democrats will hold county meetings and then a special convention on July the 25th. And yes, you heard that date correct. I think that gives them about almost 2 weeks.
Yep.
So
a little more than just a little more.
A little more than 2 weeks. So a total of 601 delegates will choose the nominee. 101 members of the Democratic State Committee and 500 delegates selected through county meetings across Maine. Candidates must declare, which I think they have to declare this week.
Yep.
They got to declare this week, collect at least 500 signatures from registered Democrats, and show support from multiple counties. At the convention, delegates will vote in rounds until one candidate receives a majority. The party will argue that this is not one chairman privately choosing the nominee. Every county has representation and hundreds of delegates will participate. Let's be real. 601 delegates are still replacing a decision previously made by thousands of voters. So, Chuck, given the short deadline, is this convention the fairest option Democrats realistically have, or is the party still overriding the choice voters already made?
Graham Platner overrid the choice that the voters already made.
Yep.
Facts.
There we go.
but to answer you, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say if the voters gonna be mad at anybody, they need to be mad at him.
Yeah, be mad at him. But honestly, at this point, it's pick whoever you want to lose. Like really, because where you can get buy-in.
You got to get name ID. You got to fundraise. You got to have infrastructure.
That's where I was going second. Was the money? Where you gonna get the money from to run a formidable campaign in this period of time?
Hey, Democrats said they did it in 100 days with Kamala. Surely we can. let's press the mode and see what we can do in 2 weeks.
And they don't got them girls in the salmon pink and lime green.
This is
rocking with them either.
Facts. But I don't know how many you got of those in Maine.
But I think that money is not going to be a problem. I don't think it'll be a problem here. I think
not with the new campaign finance rules in place.
With the campaign finance rules.
But are we gonna waste our money in Maine?
Well, yeah, that's the question. You know, if you're Democratic leadership and you're like, okay, I got $50 million to spend, is that worth, putting behind Roy Cooper in North Carolina or Troy
Tellerico in Texas?
Yeah,
or John Ossoff in Georgia. Or we're gonna blow it in Maine because Graham done screwed it up, and we thought Graham had a real chance to flip the seat.
Yeah.
Now,
because I think he was down 3 points, maybe.
Yeah,
they were down about 3 points to Collins.
Yeah,
so it was within strikeability.
Yes,
and it still could be. Collins is a person with a long voting history, and there's lots of reasons to like or dislike her. You get some strange things happening from the Trump administration, and things tend to get worse.
But Manny, here's where I don't think people are going to factor it in. There's going to be some butthurt people that Graham, regardless of what he's done and being accused of, that he's no longer in the race. And so they're going to do one of two things. Either they're not going to show up, or they're going to show up and write him in, thus splitting the vote.
Yep.
Thus making it a situation to, guess what? You just putting somebody up to lose.
Unless, no, there's no unless. I think the only way Graham can lighten that is maybe if Graham comes out and supports them. But if I'm the candidate who is
I don't want him near me.
I don't want him anywhere close to me.
No, not at all. Because then there's another ad. Oh, this person supports
rape. This person supports rape.
Sexual assault.
Rain that picture nonstop.
I would give a list of all the allegations and slap it right beside them.
Now, I think the only
can't have a picture with him on stage or doing none of that. He got to go. He just got to go.
Fade to black.
I think the benefit for him is there are no rumors of him coming out of a sex shop with greasy pepperoni fingers. So
Golly.
I think he might.
But the neo-Nazi.
But still, the
neo-Nazis, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean, I gotta at least throw the cape out there for Mark. It wasn't like he was doing something that was illegal. Sexual assault,
or sexual. Yeah, exactly. He did not commit a violation against another person. He violated himself and self-inflicted wounds.
You can't get a felony or misdemeanor for being freaky.
But not in this instance. Sean Diddy Combs would rebut.
We'd like to have a conversation with you. Yeah, you're right,
bro. Well, but I think with that, and Manny, I'll ask you this. When we talk about this process and Graham Platner, should delegates in this process choose a candidate who most closely reflects what Platner's voters supported, or should electability against Susan Collins be the one thing that matters now? Because as Chuck has already stated, I mean, it's almost at this point, I think that we could, one may say and predict if we're on the betting of this, that Susan probably is already like licking her chops, like, I got this. Right. So are you going to pick someone you feel that closely aligns, maybe obviously not with personally who Platner is, but what got him almost 71% of the vote in the primary, someone that aligns with those ideals and those morals and those campaign principles that he ran on, or at least put out there to the people of Maine, to hopefully still have a chance against Susan Collins?
No, then the committee is going to do what it's going to do. If you look at political organizational bodies, those tend to be towards the extremes of the party in either case. So I think you're more than likely going to get a candidate out of the committee that is going to be further than the left than what you would expect in terms of electability. One of my favorite political movies is Head of State with Chris Rock and Bernie Mac. Mm-hmm. And the premise of the movie is like the president dies. And the guy running for president dies, and it's what's he check, like 12 weeks till election, and they have to find a replacement. And they're having this meeting in the beginning of the movie, and they're saying, hey, do we find somebody who wins, or do we find somebody that changes the narrative about who we are as a party and what happens next? And I think that's ultimately the choice that the main, Democratic Party has to go with. Do you select someone who you think can beat Collins, or do you set somebody up that will give you some leverage heading into the next one? Because again, with 2 weeks to figure this out, you're going to either need someone who's run for office before, that has statewide infrastructure, that has financing infrastructure, that has party infrastructure. Just the process of getting the names and getting it certified, like I think it's 8 counties that you have to have signatures from. That is going to lack. That's going to hurt a lot of people that would have just paid the money and hopped on the ballot.
Yeah.
But I think that's the difference between you have somebody who, like Troy Jackson, who they're looking at, who was the Maine Senate president, who, established would have some infrastructure, could probably run statewide, be okay, versus a Dan Kelban, who is an outsider that was in the race, but may not win this go round, but in another couple of years could be ready. if they had that opportunity to talk and do that. So I think that's the choice that's the choice Maine has to like kind of stumble through. Like, is this about this race right now, or do we want to set ourselves up for a future Senate race? Do we want to showcase someone who I think could be a future House person, future senator?
Hey, Manny, you're giving out game, brother.
I was just about to say, bro.
You're giving out game with no check, because that right there is exactly what the thought process should be. And not to be a defeatist and say, oh, just throw somebody out there to lose, but let's be operating foresight.
Let's understand where we are.
Exactly. So not to repeat it, but that was good game, brother.
Yep,
good game all day long, man. Check somebody.
I'm telling you, look, somebody better get it before because once the game gets recognized, yesterday's price.
Y'all gonna be in a predicament. Y'all gonna be sitting here looking like the Maine Democratic Party saying should have bought low.
Right. Well, I think that at any rate, Graham Platner's campaign is over. And as Chuck has already said, his time to fade to black is now. And there's certainly a political problem created by his withdrawal from this, but I think that it started from the beginning, as we've already stated before. But it'll be interesting the approach that this process will bring forth, because it's a lot. The list of candidates that are interested isn't short at all. The last I looked, I mean, there was almost like 12 people, like 10 to 12 people that are like, hey, I'm interested. That's a lot of people to go out and get 500 votes. I mean, 500 signatures from registered Democrats. There's a lot of work that has to be done.
It's a whole lot of work in a short period of time.
Yeah.
You got to have some ambition, because if I get, I might want it, but you tell me all them requirements, now I'm good. I wait the next cycle.
But you know what? The name, when I look at all the names, the name that stands out to me as a person that'll be interesting to watch, it's Paige Loud, 29-year-old social worker, filed to run, but young, very big grassroots.
Yeah.
And would fit the mold of like this new
age. But that's to your point.
Yep.
How you building?
How are we building this? Because we could build this to move forward. And if we start with a strong foundation.
Yep.
Because if we're going to be honest, in comparison to other Republicans in the Senate, Collins ain't the worst person.
Oh, no. I can name 5 easy on the top of my head.
There's far worse. So it's like, And like normally I would say that's not a way to like build a race or build a strategy, but
my thing that I'll be interested with, and we can close this segment, is we've seen and we talked about on this podcast the push of some leadership in Democrats on the progressive movement, and Graham is someone who was in that category as being progressive. So I'm very interested to see what the process that the Democrats are going through, and some of the pushback that we've heard, like Hakeem Jeffrey say about the progressive movement and where its place is within the Democratic establishment. I'm interested to see if the candidate that comes out of this is someone that is still within that category of being progressive, or is it going to be someone that's going to be more centered aligned? Because this movement of progressive is getting both positive and negative steam and traction in the media. And would they want to go back into that and say, hey, look, we had someone that was there. Let's try to bring the needle back a little more centered and get someone that we think that, that electability would help us out by being more central aligned than having that left, more extreme progressive movement that has been going on and seems to be getting that traction of a movement between some of the voting and the outcomes that we've seen. Yeah. So it'd be interesting.
They better listen to the numbers, though. The numbers told you what the people want.
Right.
Tell you what they want.
It's just a matter. It's just a matter of how you address it and realize the position that you're in. Are we are operating with foresight, or we are operating short sighted.
But as you guys have stated, Democrats will fluff it up whenever they get an opportunity.
Get
and if the people are telling you this is what they want, if I tell you I want a piece of chocolate cake, brother, if I tell you I want a piece of chocolate cake, don't bring me coconut. That ain't what I asked for.
Please don't.
Unless it come from K&W and it's that coconut pie, because that joint is probably the only coconut pie. That coconut cream pie is the only one that I will eat. And I hate
is there still K&W?
I was about to say if you get anything from K&W, don't trust it.
Right.
Because I know the K&W in Fayetteville closed down.
Hey, bro.
I think the one in Rocky Mountain just closed down the other day.
I just looked it up. I went to their website. Got the 404.
Yeah. Oh, you got it. Yeah, bro. The one in Greenville closed about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, for a class I did, I had to do a report on it. The downfall of K&W, bro.
Bruh. They clientele aged out.
Bruh. The boomers could get out of it.
But before we move on, I just want to say we need to check the scoreboard because this is another one for the brothers. Platner was Jeezy's pickle. And he said we're gonna keep an eye on it because there seems like more to come. And guess what?
More cane.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah.
Whoa. It's July, sir.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's July.
I forgot. I hadn't flipped my calendar yet. My funeral home calendar hadn't been flipped to the correct month.
Boy, good old funeral home calendar.
Yes, sir. Well, certainly we will keep an eye on this process because I'm very interested in how it plays out and who comes out of this and what messaging does Susan Collins try to put out there as far as her attacks. She may say, hey, look, I got this, so I ain't got to say nothing at all. You know,
I mean, I think it'll be wise on her to just be positive on herself until she figures out who's coming out.
Yeah, I would definitely be putting myself out there right now, my name. But yeah, that's all I say.
No more free game. No more free game.
Yeah.
No more free game.
No more.
All right, brothers. Well, all hearts and minds clear on Mr. Platner and the process for the Democratic Party.
Good luck, them.
Indeed.
All right. Well, to our next segment, and this is an update that if you were listening to the podcast previously, this one kind of stopped Manny in his tracks a little bit, and I had to go take a look as well too because we now have an update.
He kicked out. He kicked
Mitch
out.
McConnell. Bruh, he got life gave him that pin. Ref count 1, 2, and that shoulder count.
At this point, the ref got knocked out. Another ref had to run
for the
back. 1, 2.
He kicked out. We have received significant update at the time of this recording on Senator Mitch McConnell. For those that were speculating, he is alive.
They got those
allegedly. I don't know if we should say allegedly, but he's alive. He has posted that he is alive, and after a month of hospitalization, he was in the hospital since June the 14th. He said that this hospitalization came after he fell and briefly lost consciousness. Now, I'm gonna say this. I don't know the structure of your house, Mitch, but at a certain age, I remember with my grandmother, I would tell her, you got to pull some of this stuff out and open up some of these walkways. So, you know, look, you know, when you get old, they turn like they Hondas, but really when you get a certain age, you turn like a charter bus. You turn a little wide when you go around the hallway. And if you got a lot of debris in the way, you gonna trip and fall. So brother Mitch said that he fell and he was hospitalized for more than a month. Doctors found no concussion or no broken bones, but they conducted extensive testing to determine why he fell and also treated him for a mild case of pneumonia.
I know why he fell. Because his ass is old and don't need to be doing all this damn moving around. He needs to take his ass home
at the house.
Sit the fuck
down. Mitch was in that house doing something he had no business doing.
But he probably doing some jazz.
He was walking. That's what he has no business doing. Walking. We've seen him walk unassisted, and what ends up happening every time.
No, you know what Mitch did? Mitch got that packet that came from Costco of them toilet papers. They delivered it at the door. He tried to take it and put it in. That big old pack sent him tumbling, bro. But at any rate, there's been a lot of speculation that Mitch was gone up and yonder to be, or he was just gone. Let me just put it that way. But he has been done well. He's actually released a picture with his wife. Lane is back from overseas.
Freshly back from China.
She had the fresh dew. Ain't a curl out of place or nothing. Mitch all smiling, looking like the tortoise that he is. And he directly addressed why the public had received little information. McConnell said people from his generation are often reluctant to reveal weakness or vulnerability.
I'm just glad he had his shell on.
I don't believe him. I don't believe it. Listen, there's this show that I watch. And I ain't gonna get the name of it because we ain't getting paid. But it's got me big in my deep fake bag. Mm-hmm. and the distortion and the manipulation of something ain't right. That's all I'm gonna say. Something ain't right.
He was gone for a hot minute. No conversation, no nothing. And he had 87 different people have 20-minute conversations with him.
Listen, if you could have a conversation, you could have told us what was wrong with you. I mean, that leads me to my question. Do you think that this statement that he's released at the time of this recording satisfies the concerns of the people, especially those in Kentucky, or does the fact that it took nearly a month and really, if you want to be honest, considerable public pressure, do you think to receive this information revealed a larger transparency problem? And I'm going to ask that question to you, Chuck.
We've had a transparency problem since the beginning of time, since they signed that piece of paper in 1776 with all the white men in that room. But in relation to this, it's a big transparency problem. We just talked about it last week with the other gentleman who was gone for 117 days. You are a servant of the people.
Right.
Why are you not telling the people what is going on?
Right. Chuck, I just want to say before you continue, bro, what you said last week rolls right into this segment so perfectly because as soon as I saw this out, I could not do nothing but think about your comments at the end of the pod because I'm like, this is exactly what my brother was speaking of.
It's the same, and it's crazy because, well, first off, we've seen this man short circuit on
multiple
camera
multiple
times. Like there has to be a level of competency that you must exhibit. No, there must be a level of aliveness that you must exhibit to be able to hold these seats. Like,
gotta be.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
I'm playing games. We playing games.
You make a good point, Chuck, because you have somebody like Pete Hegseth that talks about, there has to be a certain level. If you're an officer, if you're in the military, there's a certain criteria you have to meet. If you can't pass a PT test, if you can't do all these things, you cannot serve. Why is it not that same thing across the board? I'm not saying that people in Congress got to give a certain amount of push-ups but
a cognitive test.
We've seen Mitch McConnell have to be helped to the floor, and during there have to be guided by his assistants on even just basic principle and procedure of the flow of some of these congressional meetings and hearings. Like,
that
don't sound like somebody cognitive doing their job.
we seen Mitch McConnell have to get the old school Nintendo, push the cartridge down on the edge, and blow and push it in and turn it on. And you got to push it in. You can't push it all the way in. You got to make sure you hit the edge a little bit.
Just very.
And then push it all the like.
Bro, that bring back memories, boy.
Yes, sir. Classic.
You had to hit that switch quick.
Yes, sir.
like we said last year, and we said it multiple times last year. I think everyone should be required to read a page out of a Harry Potter book.
And
what's your reading comprehension at this current?
You ain't got to do all that.
If little Timmy has 5 apples, and I give 2 apples to Susie.
Hey, what was the book? Was it Red Llama or Little Llama that the rappers was going over?
Llama, red pajamas.
Yeah, you got to read that.
Without breaking the sentence, you just got to flow through it.
It's crazy, man.
Like I said last week when it came to Pelosi's husband, there got to be a cutoff. At a certain age, you gotta go. Like, and that's just
you're a danger to the country.
Why do you even want to be around at that age?
Oh, we know why.
How you can't convince me that you are doing your job to the best of your ability, and even if you are, you certainly aren't doing it to the best of your ability for your constituents, because, sir, you've aged out. Your constituents that you represent are in the grave. In the grave, sir. Represented.
Or knocking on it.
I don't need the dead to speak for me. I need the living.
I don't want no rock crying out.
Yes, sir.
Not in my name. Not in my name.
So I am adamant, and I wish somebody would bring it to the floor and somebody would stand on it, but we know they ain't, because they love to stay in that position because they're doing nothing but profiting from it. But there has to be a cutoff. If 65 is the age of retirement, then 65 at least got to be. You got to get up out of Congress, because we've seen Mitch. Mitch was walking and they asked him a question, and just him trying to answer short-circuited his legs. He was trying to get his jaw
to function,
and the legs stopped.
In his brain, he was trying to get his mouth to move, his brain to process words, and his legs to walk, and all 3 of those things couldn't be done at the same time. He ain't. What is the thing that old people say? You can't chew gum and what is it?
Walk.
You can't chew gum and walk.
Chew gum.
He can't walk straight and chew gum. He can't blink and walk. Bruh, you have got to go home, bitch. Even in his condition, there ain't no shame. See, do like Deion Sanders. Do like Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders got that brand deal with the pens. Mm-hmm. Why don't you be the spokesperson for her around? Stop walking. Mobilize.
No.
Professor X did it.
He's more dangerous. He's more dangerous with a hover around than he is walking.
Oh, bro,
because he short circuit and run over some people versus falling to the floor and harming himself. Nah. Don't put him on no hover around.
Hey,
or his assistant gonna have to have a kill switch on in their hand.
Hey, you get like the little kids.
You get the little kid ones where you got
where you got the remote.
That's what I'm saying. The kill switch. That thing. Turn it off right now. Just power down.
If you put the same battery that they put in them kid cars, bro, it don't go but so fast. And even if they run into you, it ain't gonna hurt you. They going slow enough. But at any rate, I guess Mitch is alive. I don't know if he's doing well. So allegedly, I don't know if it's required.
Hey, listen, they said Gucci Man was cloned. Why can't Mitch McConnell be cloned?
And in the picture, he had a nice look. His shirt looked nice and pressy. I mean, sir, you in the hospital. If you go visit anybody in the hospital, who
got you dressed? Who got you? Because you dressed like you about to get discharged,
bruh. In fact, like you got discharged.
Now that I want to investigate this picture a little more, I need to see. Because I'm as we discussing, I'm going back to look for this photo because them folks. I need to see these bruises on your hand. I see the bruise on his hand.
He got a little bruising on his hand.
He already had that bruise on his hand, but there's no
But that shirt came straight off a belt clothes hanger, bro.
And there are no IVs in him, which is BS.
They cleaned him up good.
BS. He
look, man, Chuck, he don't have it connected because he just got done with a 20-minute conversation with Lindsey Graham.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Depending on what time that conversation happened.
Right now, because they both on that elevator down. Both on the elevator down.
Hey man,
that's that true elevator convo.
You know that the 10-4 hat community, and I don't think that's gonna satisfy anybody until they physically see him walking in DC, and they still may question that. But one that we don't have to question is the surprise that was brought forth in the news and was made breaking news that Senator Lindsey Graham has passed away from a sudden illness. And certainly around him, the 10-4 hat community has started because this was very unexpected, and it happened the day after he got back from Ukraine. And there has been some speculation of could there have been something that Russia had played ties in. Now y'all know how Vladimir get. Vladimir get a shot, he gonna take it.
Right.
Could it possibly be some bio weapon that could be at afoot? Could there be some foul play? I believe that it's been announced that even though he has passed, the FBI is investigating. If I'm not mistaken, correct, brothers?
Yeah, that's the report.
That's what Cash App said.
Yeah, Cash App said it.
If what is that to investigate? You said that the man got sick, had a sudden illness, it took him out, but it's very telling. And Trump said that I talked to him last night and he sounded fine. He said he sounded tired, but hey, I mean, I would expect a 71-year-old man to travel back from Ukraine all the way back to DC. I'd be a little tired, Yeah. So Trump said it didn't sound like anything out of the ordinary. And Graham, at least to the knowledge, but we just finished talking about transparency. At least to the knowledge of those that knew him, there was no illnesses or situations or medical concerns that he had. Seemed to be a pretty healthy 71-year-old man, and for him to suddenly pass away certainly has people talking. So,
we just got some more news on that. Allegedly, at this point, he died from a aortic dissection, or essentially an aneurysm. His aorta popped open.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's that's less than good when that happens, and you don't have a lot of time when that takes place.
Yeah, they said he went to the hospital experiencing chest pain. So he was alive when he left, and then went into cardiac arrest at the hospital. But to what you were saying, the 10-4 hat community, they even questioned the timeline of his return and his travel, coming from Ukraine, and the amount of time, trying to line up when he left, what time he would make it back, the whole gamut. But if you don't mind, my brothers, I got something that this young lady said on Twitter that I want to read in regards to.
Do I need to reach for it?
No.
Okay.
No.
At ease, brother. At ease.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give her props and give her recognition. Her name is Mercy Right Now. That's a handle on Twitter. And essentially, what she did was give a rundown of Lindsey Graham and his history. Because as they say, don't speak ill of the dead, but also at the same time, don't lie on the dead. And a lot of times we find that people lie on the dead often and give them more praise and accolades than they truly deserve instead of telling the truth. So just going to read a couple of things that she said. She first gave his background of how he came into, power. He replaced the known and renowned racist Strom Thurmond, when he finally retired, somebody who should have been gone a long time ago, when he retired at the age of 100. And so,
also known as too damn old.
Bruh.
I don't even know if 100 is too old. That's
Bruh.
just like,
Why?
at that point, all your constituents are definitely dead.
Bruh.
All of them. But anyway, he helped secure a conservative supermajority of the Supreme Court. And in this, his hypocrisy in 2016, when Saleha died, Graham is one of the key individuals who blocked Obama's nominee, saying that voters should decide on the next nominee for the Justice of the Supreme Court. And he said, use my words against me if it ever happens under a Republican. Oh, well, funny how time works. Because in 2020, when RBG died, 46 days before the election, Graham backs an immediate vote within a day and then makes himself the individual to run the hearings to get this nominee through before Biden became president while Trump was still president. There we are with that. Then he was part of the move to overturn abortion in the U.S. He supported Trump as a biased juror in Trump's impeachment trial. He swore on oath of impartiality in Trump's impeachment, then announced, and this is a quote, "I'm not trying to pretend to be a fair juror here." And this is the same man that argued the exact opposite point during Clinton's impeachment in 1998. Again, hypocrisy. What really is funny, and it's not just Lindsey Graham, but quite a few of these Republicans in 2016 could not stand Trump, hated his guts, talked down on him, talked vile of him. Lindsey Graham called Trump a race-baiting, xenophobic bigot and said that the GOP deserves destruction if he was nominated. Then guess what? He became a boot-licking, shoe-shining, bending the knee Trump supporter and lover. Just calling it like it is.
Facts.
Now, some areas where he does deserve, I guess you say kudos or recognition. He was a strong proponent of immigration reform. He was part of the Gang of Eight that passed comprehensive reform through the Senate in 2013 and provided a path to citizenship for over 11 million people. And he was one of the ones who helped push the DREAM Act. Kudos. We know what the DREAM Act is, and I totally support the theoretical and foundational nature of the DREAM Act. He also was one who believed in climate change. He was co-sponsored a cap and trade with John Kerry that he did later abandon because he's a flip-flopper. But he is who he is. He did, and furthermore, his last place of visit, he was a strong supporter of Ukraine. And as I've stated before, I support Ukraine in the fact that they have a right to govern themselves and not be invaded and taken over by Russia. And he was one who was a big proponent of Ukraine, even when many in Congress was talking about reducing or not giving any aid at all. Lindsey Graham threw his weight around in his seniority to continue to support and provide aid to Ukraine. Although he is that country over there with the, I say false name, the country not named Jacob.
The blue and white country.
Yeah, them folks. He's a strong supporter of them, very much so, borderline a puppet. of that country. So yeah, a very, again, I don't hold anyone to a regard or esteem to where you're gonna be pristine, without flaws and without fault. But I'm big on hypocrisy. If you say something, stand on it. Now you can change your mind, but say you change your mind. Don't act as if you never said it and that was never your position. And so,
there's a whole lot of that going on in Washington, brother.
A whole heap of it, brother. A whole heap of it.
Certainly, to those that, and I believe he was in the primary coming up, wasn't he?
Oh yes. To speak on that,
he already won his primary.
He had won his primary, and that race, many thought that the Democratic challenger could give him a push.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, who they select, because if I'm not mistaken, I know I read earlier that they have to hold a special election, but then I seen somebody come back and correct it and said, no, the governor gets to appoint. They have to run a special election?
So two things have to happen with this. So first, because of the time left, McMaster has to appoint someone to serve the rest of the term. The person who serves the rest of the term cannot run for the next term. And then there also has to be a special election
to select
who's going to actually be running.
So what I read was probably incomplete information then. Okay. Yeah, because I read that he has to appoint someone to finish the term out. And then cool.
So they got a couple of tiers that they got to go through to get.
They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they got a lot of work. Well, certainly we'll keep an update on Mitch McConnell and his return, because though we have had this update, I will say, with the news of Lindsey Graham passing away this morning, and then by the evening before the sun goes down, we have now gotten our information about Mitch McConnell. Certainly seems coincidental, I guess, but certainly gives them the majority or the slim thereof they have in the Senate. Certainly maybe presenting them a challenge, which is already challenging to begin with, and with the condition that the GOP is in right now, they certainly can't have a vote and have anyone flip on anything that they bring to the floor. And I just want to say this as we close this out and move into the pickle. Donald Trump, I don't know if you understand this, but you got to stop pushing. He don't. I know, bro. So I try to give grace because the Lord give it to me, so I try to give it to others. But
indeed,
some Lord, you got to understand, some just don't need it. But you keep pushing the SAVE Act, and I just want people to understand this: there is no way possible that you have enough time to pass that bill and get all those tiers and all the things that come with it in place before the election. You are absolutely asking for the worst cluster of a voting cycle that you could possibly have. So, Donnie, just give it a rest. It ain't gonna happen. And certainly with your slimness that you have now, it definitely gonna happen. You can pitch your hat on a lot of things, but I think it's time to let that one sail. There's no way, Donnie. So
you just gotta
to
believe
the family,
these.
Man.
You gotta believe.
Yeah, I know there's a song that tells us don't. There's a song that tells us to don't stop believing, but
they were on LSD.
Yeah, bro. I don't think this applies to this. But the Lindsey Graham family, certainly, at any rate, whether you agree with him, disagree with him, certainly a family has lost a loved one. So definitely would not want to take that away from them. And hopefully during their time of this loss and bereavement, that the comfort and peace in which our Savior provides finds his family, and they're able to navigate through this difficult time. So that is all we have. And Mitch McConnell, if you want to come and come on the pod and let us know a little bit more about this fall, And maybe that's why that person was coming out of his house. They were trying to move. They would move some of that stuff out of the way.
Man,
Yeah, clear some of that stuff out of the way, Mitch. When you get a certain age, man, you just need a chair, an end table, and that's it.
Your bed.
and the bed, and that's it.
Stay in about 3 cubic feet.
Yeah. Not even a whole sofa, just a love seat, bro. Like a love seat and a rocking chair. That's it. That's your living room setup.
That's it.
But yeah, we'll see what updates come with Mitch, because certainly just because we get this update doesn't mean that he's back in working shape or condition or any, depending on what conspiracy theory.
He ain't been in working condition in a long time.
So we shall see. But with that, we are at the point of our episode where we have the pickle of the week.
When I get us all into the biggest pickle any of us had ever seen.
Now, our pickle of the week is an interesting
Brian?
one. This was a little bit of, I took a different approach to this one, Manny. First of all, our pickle of the week is going to be Khanna. And I just want to say this. Most of the time when you think of a pickle, if somebody's done something just stupid politically, have just fumbled the ball, the bag, and deserve to be in the brown. But Khanna's in there for a different reason.
Poor Ro.
Not because he made a bad vote or because of a scandal, but because he just experienced firsthand the biggest problem facing the U.S. Israel relationship today. And that problem is, guess what, kids? Accountability.
Say it with me. Accountability.
While visiting the West Bank, Khanna says his delegation was surrounded by armed Israeli settlers, and might I add, were armed with American-made M4 rifles, who blocked them from leaving for more than an hour. He says they ultimately had to contact the U.S. Embassy before they were able to get out. Israel disputes parts of his account, but regardless of what happened or how it actually unfolded, the incident has become much bigger to me than one congressperson. Here's why. The U.S. Has long called Israel one of its closest allies. We've invested billions of dollars in military aid. We've defended them, and we've consistently stood by them on the world stage. But what happens when an ally stops believing there are consequences for their actions? That's the conversation we're starting to see happen in Washington. For years, the debate was whether you supported Israel or you didn't. Now the question is different. Can you support Israel while also demanding accountability? And those aren't mutually exclusive. You can believe that Israel has a right to defend itself after October the 7th, while also believing violent settlers should be held accountable. You should support an ally without giving them a blank check. And here's why Khanna is the pickle this week. Because his experience shines a light on a relationship that appears to be changing. I think there's some tension here, folks. Most members of Congress, including members of his own party, are openly asking whether America's support should come with expectations or exceptions, If one of our own elected officials walks away from a trip questioning how our closest ally handled the situation, imagine what message it sends to the rest of the world. Khanna should have never even been in that situation. And he stated in his experience that when the Israeli police came, they treated the settlers, the armed settlers, better than they treated him and his delegation. Now, wait a minute. You got my money. I come to the yard and I'm the one to get disrespected. Where they do that at? This real pickle isn't Khanna. The real pickle is the U.S. and Israeli relationship. At what point does supporting the ally also require holding that ally accountable? And from what it looks like in this relationship, the accountability will be the downfall of the relationship between the U.S. and Israel. So Khanna is in the pickle to bring light to a much bigger situation, and that is the accountability of our ally. We shall see what happens. Khanna, I'm glad you made it safe. You made it out, because that situation could have got sticky. It could have been a bad situation for you, but we will see what happens going forward. And I don't believe, and I will be interested to see what they said going forward. Will President Trump even acknowledge it? And how the relationship and the strain that we're seeing between U.S. and Israel looks going forward. Because there was some tension already building. I didn't bring it up in the segment, but when Trump was in Turkey, he talked about possibly giving them B-35s.
Yep.
And you already saw Big Benny was like, I mean no like, me no like. So the relationship is already becoming very strained. We know that things and the tension between U.S. and Iran is at an all-time high right now, but that war will not end if Trump cannot do something about Israel. And it's all about accountability, and we're starting to see that we can write a blank check and send millions, but when we start questioning what you're doing and how you're going about doing it, that money don't matter.
Right.
We may have a problem here, brother. And Khanna might have just shined the light on it. So that is why, Khanna, you are indirectly our pickle for the week. Brothers, we reached the end of our episode. And of course, for our listeners, you know that we like to bring you our spotlights of the week. So, Manny, my brother, what do you have as a spotlight for this week?
Yeah, so something's been lingering around for like the last 2 weeks, but we finally have a resolution. on June 23rd, Congress passed the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. It passed the Senate 89-10 and the House 358-32. And with this current setup of Congress, that is as close to unanimous as you're going to get. Why this was interesting is because this didn't have a straight through shot. This actually passed without Trump's signature. So Trump announced on Truth Social that he was refusing to sign this without the SAVE Act getting passed, with the SAVE Act being the higher priority. His statement on it was like, I will not sign the housing bill, which has been fully approved by Congress and sent to the White House in protest over the fact the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Save America Act. And Trump is going to live and die on this Save America Act bill. But that's neither here nor there. So what does this bill actually do? So it's been a long time since we got some type of bipartisan housing bill to help. But there are a couple big provisions. First is on institutional investors. Basically, large entities that already own 350 plus single family homes are not allowed to buy any. They've created some carve outs for rent, build to rent situations and renovate to rent situations as well. They've updated federal definitions to allow more efficient factory built manufactured housing. The average new manufactured home is $124,000 versus like an on-site built house averages about $424,000. Rental assistance using the RAD program, or the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program. They've raised that cap by 100,000 units, really focusing on disaster recovery funding, and has created a new cohort called Moving to Work, really helping people get into new housing. And then one of the last big ones is it raises the cap on bank public welfare investments, including affordable housing and community developments. They've raised that cap from about 15 to 20%. So this is the first time about 20 years. So it'll be interesting. One of the biggest provisions in here was, again, that 350 institutional buyer limit. Well, I think it's well and great for us to now say, hey, if you own more than 350, you can't buy anymore. This does not force any of those entities to sell any of the housing stocks that they currently have. And lo and behold, I don't believe there's anything blocking these corporations for starting smaller entities to continue to do this. So like at 350, let's go ahead and run this back with
a shell company.
Final version _2. And and that. So I think ultimately this will be good-ish. I don't see any place where it's going to be worse. We all know housing is a problem. The supply of housing, and to do something. Like, I think this is just an area, I think a lot of people are just glad to finally see the federal government attempt to do something on this. But we'll see what it actually happens. What I don't see in any of this is any focus on green energy use. I don't see anything that's going to make additional funding available for that missing middle, as people call it. The people who aren't looking for giant, single family homes, but also the people who aren't looking for condos. So like that townhouse starter home areas. And then where this money will eventually be invested. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But again, this has passed. So everyone in Congress has something to go back to their districts and said, we did something on housing. And to see how it passed so bipartisanly, this is the play here. So this is what we'll be hearing more and more about, especially when people start talking about home affordability in this election cycle. So that is, man, before I go, like we said before, Trump, did you really think that you not signing it was going to stop it from becoming law? Like that's
yes, he did.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, he did.
So yes, but that is my spotlight of the week, Jeez.
All right, brother Chuck, what do you have for this week?
Man, I was in between two different spotlights, and one was going to talk about the disruptive bowels and explosive bowels caused by a parasite in the country. Now we're up to 31 states with cases, and I think it was exacerbated by the Trump administration cutting a certain department who kept track of this and kept eyes on this. But I'm going in another direction. On this past week, Donald Trump removed the remaining 3 members or commissioners of the Election Assistance Commission. Now, you want to know who or what is this group? The EAC. It was created under the Help America Vote Act in 2002. Jesus, that was terrible. It sets voting guidelines.
I was going to say, I was like 2002.
2002. It sets voting guidelines, certifies voting systems, maintains the National Voter Registry form, distributes federal election grants, and shares best practices with state and local officials. It needs at least 3 commissioner votes to approve any official action. And so there was already one commissioner who had resigned in April. That was Republican Christy McCormick, and Trump got rid of the remaining 3. 2 Democrats, Thomas Hicks and Benjamin Hovland, and the other Republican, excuse me, I said that wrong. Christy McCormick was allowed to resign and she wasn't fired. The one in April was Don Palmer. He had already resigned. So what makes this very interesting is this group, this commission, as I said, was created under the Help America Save Act. For those who don't know, Congress are the ones who create these acts. The president signs them into law. So this says that Congress created a bipartisan group. Hear me out. bipartisan, meaning there must be 2 Dems, 2 Republicans. Yes. And it was intentionally set up this way to be bipartisan. So the White House is trying to use the very recent ruling from the Supreme Court in the Trump versus Slaughter ruling, where they said that he had the power to remove independent agency heads. But then there's groups that are fighting back against this because this is not an independent agency. Congress structured this commission and established this commission. So, of course, the Dems, the ACLU, and many other legal scholars are questioning the validity of him being able to remove these individuals on this commission. But what's very disturbing about this is the impact that it can have. Now, many people don't think, because with the midterms so close, there are already things in place that it should not impact the midterms. But the bigger concern is long term. Yeah, there's no formal agency action possible until new commissioners are confirmed. Well, we know how the confirmation process can go. But this is a continuous attack on the voting process, on the ability to vote, on the system of voting by this administration. We saw what he did with mail-in ballots. We saw the attack in the raid here in Atlanta to get voting information and voting data. We see continuously the rhetoric about 2020 in the election dispute, although there is numerous instances of recordings, and where Trump has even admitted that he doesn't think it was fraudulent.
Right.
His own words. Nobody making it up. This is audio of him. And then, of course, many individuals in his cabinet and his administration who didn't believe it was a fraudulent election. So as they continue to attack the ability to vote, I say to you, wake up. Wake up. I didn't even touch on the Supreme Court ruling of the Voting Rights Act, because guess what? That's another attack. And as you sit here and you continue to twiddle your thumbs, I'm not even going to address the cowards of Congress, because it shouldn't even, as soon as this happened, there should have been pushback and some kind of something in the works immediately, because this was a congressional act. But we'll see how things move forward. We'll see the legal challenges that will come from this and how it plays out. But we're moving in a dangerous time. I've echoed before how I felt about the potential interference of the 2024 election. Donald Trump has told y'all before he's gonna fix it to where you never have to vote again, and y'all keep playing with him. Keep playing.
That might happen.
That's my spotlight.
All right, brother. Well, I will give my spotlight to round things up, and my spotlight takes us down to Houston, Texas. We have a situation where I believe this may be the first, at least publicly wide known, death by ICE since Mark Wayne Mullen has taken over. Lorenzo Salgado Rojo, a 52-year-old construction worker and father of 3, was shot and killed by ICE agents during an immigration operation this past week. ICE says that he used a van as a weapon, and an agent fired in self-defense, which we've heard this before. But his family and witnesses inside the van are telling a very different story. Now, what makes this very significant is that Lorenzo was not even a part of the operation to begin with. He was not the person that ICE agents were looking for. But according to members of Congress who were briefed by ICE, agents believed someone else they had been searching for had gotten into the van. So Lorenzo wasn't the target, but he is the one who lost his life. Now, the thing about this that has really been sparking a lot of outrage is that, of course, there are no body cameras of the encounter. There is no clear dash cam footage of the shooting.
Of course not.
Exactly.
Of
But
course not.
once again, we're left with compelling stories, a grieving family, and missing evidence that could have helped at least establish the truth. And from what has been stated, there is investigation by the DOJ. I believe the FBI and ICE is doing theirs as well. But local officials in Houston are completely left in the dark as far as evidence and what is happening right now. What we have seen has just been footage that has been obtained from security cameras by nearby buildings, which definitely disputes the claims that ICE is establishing. So this will be very interesting to see how this is handled. With it being, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Wayne Mullen's first incident or public wide incident of a killing happening by his ICE agents. And where this leads to, because certainly we've seen this happen time and time and time again under Kristi Noem. And from our understanding, or at least what was told, is that there was going to be some more accountability and a better approach by ICE agents under Mark Wayne. So I'm interested to see how they handle this. Certainly, the even the ones that were inside the van said this doesn't happen. This did not happen the way that it's been accounted. And even in the whole process of it, I think the way that the operation is handled by ICE, if I'm just speaking as just a straight up civilian, if I'm in my vehicle and vehicles approach me unmarked, I have no identification of who or what is going on, my first thing I'm going to do is try to get out of Dodge because I don't know
Right.
who.
I don't know what's happening.
So even in
Facts.
the operation perspective, how ICE carries out these operations seem to set a deadly foundation to begin with, because how do I even know who you are? How do these people, at least if the police come up on me, okay, I see their police cars. I see the sirens. You come in unmarked SUVs and then you run up on me. I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand the operation of ICE, and how do you identify when you carry out these things that, hey, I am a federal agent, so that these people can't comply? Because if you look at the video footage of the little bit we have, there wasn't necessarily a major chase, but by the time he was shot, you see the vehicle slowly creep and come to a stop in front of a barbershop, and he was shot at that point.
Right.
But they said they shot in self-defense because he tried to use the van as a weapon, but there were no gunshots in the windshield. All the gunshots came from the side of the vehicle. So if you were shooting in self-defense, I mean, I could see if you said that if the shots came from the windshield and you said he was trying to ram agents, but y'all were running beside him, shooting inside the van. So it's a lot of compelling stories, a lot of things they adding up. But one thing is true at this moment. There's a man who has lost his life, that unfortunately there are children who do not have their father, 3 children who do not have their father, a spouse, partner, whomever, who does not have that loved one, and certainly a mother, brother, cousin, someone has lost a loved one behind his senselessness. And I hope that is not the same lack of accountability that we've seen from ICE previously. I'm very interested to see how Mark Wayne handles this. And I gotta say this, I'm not very confident that it will be any different than what we have seen before, but we shall see. So that's my spotlight.
I am confident it'll be different. There will not be some $200 million commercial behind it. That's the extent of my confidence of how it's different.
I hope you would. I hope this isn't what you would put a commercial behind, but I can agree with that, brother.
You can, yeah. I wouldn't give them. I wouldn't give them. They doing making it a commercial out of anything. Well,
but yeah, that is my spotlight of the week, and yeah. So we've reached the conclusion of this episode. To our listeners, if you've stayed with us through the duration of this episode, we thank you for tuning in and lending us your ear. As always, like, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you enjoy what we do here at Partner in Politics, please share. Follow our socials. If there's any questions you have, comments, concerns, anything you want to share with the pod, to our fans, or to our listeners, to our haters, we love you all. So whatever you have, because we know that in the space that we operate in, you're gonna get just as much hate as you do love, and we're fine with that. Just let us know your thoughts, and if you got any questions and comments or anything, or any topics that you wanted to hear us cover or give our thoughts on here on the podcast, brothers, all hearts and minds clear. Anything else?
Man, we're down to the Final Four of the World Cup.
I was going to say, like, the U.S. found a way.
As
I
always,
don't want to talk about that. I don't even want to talk about it.
And man, some epic failure that happened. Was it by Egypt against? Was it Argentina?
Yeah. Yep.
Bruh.
I ain't gonna say yes, epic failure, but they're.
It's still Argentina.
Here we
go.
Bruh. You caught me off guard. Hold on. Because it's only right.
Listen, there is some foolishness afoot. There's people. There was a reporter, I want to say, that said that there's an article they want to drop about FIFA and the Argentina connection and some corruption. But if you look at some of them plays, even before the Egypt match, the Cape Verde match, it's quite a few things.
There's some
questions
questions.
Were not called. That could have been called. Should have been called.
Well, isn't Argentina getting invested in anyway on some fraud?
But that's what I'm saying. The reporter
okay.
saying that they're gonna drop that story, but the goal that I want to say that tied it or gave them the lead. No, I think one of them. Oh no, the third goal. It would have been the third goal for Egypt that they disallowed, but for a foul that happened like 100 yards away. But this is the end of the pod. I ain't gonna get into all that. Let's just say
the trickery.
Something stinks.
Things that make you go,
It stinks.
Well, certainly we will see what the remaining teams will do. We are in the final stretch of the World Cup. So yeah, we will see what happens. Got some pretty decent matchups coming up, and especially with, I believe, what is France and Spain. Definitely looking forward to seeing what takes place there. And we'll enjoy the conclusion. And I'm looking forward. Shout out to the U.S. team. The only thing that they did do is they did secure a little bit of funds for the girls, and I do like that. I believe it was each player got $264,000, which was a total of 6.4, I believe, between the two teams. So girls got a little bag. So I ain't gonna never hate on the women's team getting a little money, because rightfully so, and they haven't disappointed us nearly as much as the men has in the past.
Not at all.
Shout out to Trinity Rodman too, because homegirl, that's my she a baller, bro. So I'm really excited to see what the team will do. The Women's World Cup will be in Brazil.
Brazil next year.
2 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
no,
so
next year.
No, next year.
Okay.
It's next year. So yeah, I'm looking forward. So hopefully, we'll have a much better time with the Brazil World Cup for the ladies. So
Lord willing, we might have to report live from
from Rio.
I don't mind. So to our listeners, we thank you as always. If don't nobody love you, just know the boys here at the pod. We love you. Again, remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow. And we will see you at the next episode. Take care, world.
Peace.